And welcome to TIA's Network of the Future interview series as we speak to some of our TIA 2016 conference session speakers to get a better sense of what we can expect in Dallas on June 6th through 9th. Joining us on this segment is Avi Ambale. He's founder and chief executive officer of Pervazive. That's an enterprise software company serving the telco ecosystem. And Avi, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks for having me on the show.
Well, thanks for being here. Of course, we want to talk primarily about the NFE security space and how that fits into TIA 2016's program. But I want to talk just briefly about one thing that I came across just this morning. It was an article that was actually written a couple years back when you were still considered a startup. You claimed to achieve 30% more operational efficiency for telecom operators. Now, without mentioning any specific technology that Pervazive is working on, can you tell us how far the industry has come since then regarding operational efficiencies for telcos?
Not much, unfortunately, largely because I think the focus has been on CapEx the past few years, where they're spending more and more money on trying to build newer and newer technologies. In 3G, there's 4G, and then there's 5G already. So there's been less focus on operational efficiencies, which means the software that is managing the network is not as efficient as it is supposed to be. And that's where the problem is with both NFE and security as well.
Well, let's talk now about NFE Security and again how it fits into TIA 2016's program. There are some overriding issues in that space. What should industry be aware of, and what would you be talking about at the conference?
It's primarily related to the large volume of data that is flowing through the networks today and how securing the data is of paramount importance, both from a privacy perspective for individual consumers like you and I, as well as for telcos who are the guardians of the gate, literally guarding every bit of data about every aspect of our lives. So in a layer where everything is software and is not orchestrated by hardware layers, NFE security is going to become more and more critical as the days and time passes by.
Now, I know Pervazive is building a layer of machine intelligence to really identify and manage NFE security concerns in the network. Can you describe how that works and why that's important?
It's largely because with machine learning and machine intelligence, you're able to abstract and figure out fingerprints of what happened with security breaches in the past and be able to use that to predict when a future occurrence could occur. And with using machine learning and machine intelligence, the algorithms become smarter. So once a fingerprint is detected, it becomes institutionalized for the algorithms to look for the same pattern and also adapt and learn from it so that future intrusions or security threats can be minimalized to the least extent possible. So that's where we are at in trying to build this layer into and integrated with the NFE layer so that security can be taken care of with the machine learning layer as well as the human intelligence layer.
Now, Avi, it wasn't long ago that TIA did an informal survey sort of trying to figure out what the demands were from operators in the NFE security space. What are you finding as really the commonalities as far as concerns around NFE security for operators?
It is largely around safeguarding the data in terms of data sovereignty, because there is no overarching standard in terms of where the data is going to be stored. So security concerns about virtualizing it and putting it on a data center away from the location where it naturally resides is a concern, especially with each country having their own rules about data sovereignty that data generated by telco operators and customers cannot leave the country. The second one is obviously about privacy concerns that all of us share with everything, especially the over-the-top vendors having access to all details about where we access the internet from or where we make calls from. Data privacy, especially where it is mediated by security, is of a bigger area of concern. So I would think data sovereignty and data privacy are of paramount importance when it comes to NFE security for the operators we have been talking to in the past few years.
Now, Avi, as you know, anytime we talk about security for software or security in hardware, there's typically concerns around the monetization of those technologies. Is there a clear business case for NFE security, and what are really the concerns around the monetizations of NFE security?
Largely, the monetization concerns are about how do you take the data that the telcos guard and own and be able to offer that as use cases and solutions to, for instance, retailers to say, where do you use that data to be able to predict where the next hotspot for putting up a coffee shop is, for instance. And all of that obviously raises concerns about security in terms of who has access to this data and how the security is being managed and how the software that manages it is being secured itself. So those are the concerns, and those are the opportunities as well in terms of how the vast amount of data that's flowing through these pipes can make the pipes smarter. At the same time, it opens up concerns of how the pipes can be secured as well.
Now, again, as you know, there's a number of NFE standards bodies, NFE consortiums around the globe trying to interoperate with one another to really have a seamless network. Should there be a universal body of governance when trying to standardize NFE security, orchestration, and also provisioning guidelines?
In an ideal world, yes, but as you and I know, that is fairly uncommon. So I guess the way is that, one of the things that we would like to see happen is if the NFV bodies and the internet bodies work together, because our traffic is moving data sooner than we think, including voice on LTE. So if the two could come together and dictate a standard that's common across data traffic as well as NFV, I think that would be an ideal marriage in our opinion.
Avi, NFE security is a hot topic at TIA 2016, so we look forward to seeing you down in Dallas on June 6th through 9th.
I look forward to being there and talking to all of you.
Thanks again, Avi. And for all of our viewers, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again at TIA 2016. Please visit us at TIA2016.org for the program schedule and registration information. Also, if you're a startup and want to participate in TIA 2016's Startup Challenge, you can also apply on TIA2016.org. So long.